Located at the center of Duquesne University is a massive, visually jarring concrete building. Its jagged edges and M.C. Escher-esque ramps don't exactly make it the most welcoming structure on the campus. Despite this, it is and has always been vital to the Duquesne community. It is a remnant from one of the university's golden eras, a time when anything was possible. It is a holdover from a time when Duquesne was in the hands of the most ambitious and well-liked president in its history. It is a classic example of a much-derided architectural style that has fallen tragically out of favor and wasn't even readily welcomed by students at the time. It is the Duquesne Union. In the early 1960s, Duquesne's campus was fairly open. Buildings were sparse and mixed in with a public street, which has since been blocked off to public traffic and turned into academic walk. The Union, as its name suggests, was constructed as a place for students and faculty to come together, a central meeting place and hub for student activities. In the first issue of the student newspaper The Duquesne Duke for the 67-68 school year, Acting Union Director Ronald J. Bean penned an open letter outlining the successes and hopes for the future of the then new building. The educational process in today's age of rapid change seems to find its students, faculty, and administration in search of an increased involvement with life, in search of a feeling of community, and in search of an individual belonging. This feeling of community, without a subsequent loss of individuality, will most likely manifest itself in an informal atmosphere where the avenues of expression and discussion are free and open. More than ever before, this past spring, we think many found the opportunity to realize some of these goals in the Union. The importance of this statement can't be understated. In the late 60s, many colleges dealt with unrest and protests from students in a rapidly changing world. While some colleges attempted to silence dissenting students, Duquesne welcomed these voices. In fact, on that same page of the Duke, LSD pioneer Timothy Leary can be seen speaking to students in the Union. A conceptual success, the Union remains a meeting ground for students. Student organizations such as the Student Government Association are still located on the third floor, and the building has been home to countless lounges and dining halls since its inception. Though the communal meeting ground offered by the Union was welcomed with open arms by the students, the building itself was not. An earlier issue of the Duke, from when the Union was still under construction, less than affectionately referred to the building as a concrete coffin. The issue celebrating the opening of the Union features the glorious half-compliment, "Without spirit, the Union will only be a useless hunk of concrete and glass on the bluff." The Union was designed by Paul Schweiker, an architect at the Carnegie Mellon Institute of Technology. The building itself is an example of brutalist architecture. Coming from the French word brute for raw, the name couldn't be more appropriate. Big, jagged concrete shapes. The building itself is monolithic, as confusing on the inside as it is blocky and unwelcoming on the outside. This architectural style peaked in the 60s, and this is why it was introduced to Duquesne. The 60s saw unprecedented construction on the bluff. This was all done during the tenure of Father Henry McNulty as university president. As Richel and D'Amelio's book The Spirit That Gives Life details, McNulty's time saw the construction of many new buildings on campus, including St. Anne Hall, St. Martin Hall, Duquesne Towers, AWalk, and countless other projects and renovations. Famously affable, Father McNulty represented much of what the Student Union was to represent: community with students, hopefulness for the future, and pride in Duquesne. One of the most memorable images from McNulty's era is of him addressing the student body in the Union Ballroom, upon the discovery that the university didn't have enough money to remain open. In the true spirit of the Union, when confronted with Father McNulty's honesty, students worked together to raise funds, and the university lives on today. As such, the Duquesne Union lives on today.